Okay, the second problem that we're doing on day 2 is our sine wave. Again, we're going to go through and I'm going to write my function k plus a sine bx minus h so that I can see what's going on here. Okay, so again, k represents my vertical shift, so it's been up 1, so my center line has been moved to y equals 1. This 3 in front of my sine, that's my amplitude, which is now 3. And this is my b, so I have a change in period, so I use this equation, 2 pi over b, so I get 2 pi over 3. So my period is 2 pi over 3, which means I have a horizontal compression. Okay? And we do not have a horizontal shift. We will do that next week when we do phase shifts. So start with graphing the parent function. So here are the 5 key points of sine. 1 full period from 0 to 2 pi. Alright. The hardest transformation is going to be our horizontal compression. So we're doing that first. Okay, before we could do our amplitude first, but I'm going to do a horizontal compression. So I'm going to do this first. So our wave's still going to start at 0. Okay? But it's been cut by a factor of 3. So it's going to be 1/3 as long. Okay? So you notice that these hash marks, each one of these is pi over 6. So this is 90. This right here is 2 pi over 3. So this is where my function's going to end. Okay? Now you could sit here and divide all of the values, x values, by 3, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the idea of our function's going to be horizontally compressed, which means all of the points are moved in the same way. So for instance, since the original one started here, ended here, this one's starting here, ending here. But in between these 2 points, there's a 0. So right in the middle, there should be a 0. And then in the middle of my zeros are where my maximums and my minimums occur. So this right here represents my sine wave. And again, if you think about b as kind of like we say frequency, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you kind of looked at the function is in terms of frequency, if you drew more of these until you get 2 pi, notice you'll see 3 full waves. Okay. Now, that was my first transformation. Now I'm going to change my amplitude. Okay. That's this one. So now my zeros stay the same, but my maximums and minimums are now going to be at 3 and at -3. So this is my vertical stretch, and it looks like this. So I've been horizontally compressed and vertically stretched, so it's really tall. And my last transformation, I need to move it up 1. So all of these are going to be scooted up 1. And this is where your final sine wave ends up. That is the end of my transformations. Okay? And again, if you look at what we started with, this information, this is my center line at 1. My amplitude, since this is my center line here, my amplitude's 3. So I go up 1, 2, 3. That's where my maximums are. 1, 2, 3. That's where my minimum is. And this from here to here, that is my period.